I think the goal from the get-go was always to tour. So I'm so excited to just be locked in a bus with like 12 other people. No, I'm that I would say I'm nervous about that.
That's the
Uh,
tricky part right there. Be careful about that part.
yeah. That's definitely the tricky part.
So excited to say hi, get to know, and talk about music with Niki. Hello.
Hey,
We really appreciate your time. My name is Waters. I'm joined by my friend and co-host Calista. And Calista, why don't you get us started over here? Ladies first, right?
First off, I love your music.
oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet.
And I know you go by Niki, but your new album will be called Nicole. So what made you want to go back to basics on this one?
Yeah, this next record is at my hands down my absolute favorite thing that I've ever made as an artist, and it's half of it was actually written in high school. So these were songs that I wrote when I was like 17, 18, that used to live on a teenage YouTube channel that I had. It's no longer there, but yeah, I sort of sat with it throughout the pandemic, and I was like, these songs still very much resonate with me, and I very much still love them. Like, when am I ever going to put them out? All that to say, yeah. So it's Nicole. I named it Nicole because it's just kind of like a nod to her and like past me.
Now, a lot of your songs have these themes in them of heartbreak, of letting go, but not really being able to move on. So I just kind of want to check in on you. Doing all right?
That's so funny and very kind. Yeah, I'm great, man. These, you know what? These are some old wounds. Like this, it did hurt once upon a time, but it doesn't anymore because we've moved past the cocoon that we've butterflied. You know what I mean? We're now flying high, and we've moved past that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, just carrying on from there, you mentioned that the first half of the album will feature both new and archive songs. So how far back are we looking?
Yeah, so this whole record is centered around my first love story as like a high schooler, and just all of the kind of like nuances of that. And yeah, just it's very, very nostalgic. I would say that. I think it's difficult. I feel like it'd be a challenge to listen to the record and not empathize with your 18, 17-year-old self, or at least be reminded of that.
The teenage years were hard for sure.
They were hard in their own way. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you also credited Taylor Swift's recent album re-recordings for the inspo on re-recording your own songs, right?
Yeah.
I know you're a huge Swiftie, so what would you say is the biggest thing that Taylor's inspired in you?
I mean, oh my gosh, she is honestly like so responsible for my entire kind of like how like origin story as like a writer. I saw like a True Hollywood Story documentary of her, and that after I watched that, I was in the 4th grade. I told my mother, I was like, I think I want to play guitar. Like, yeah, can you get me a guitar? And she was like, yeah, sure. So then I got a guitar, and like literally the day of, I taught myself like 4 chords and wrote my first song, and then I was like, yeah, I love this. And yeah, she shaped that initial spark to like want to do music as like a living thing.
You've got one other thing. You've got one other thing in common with Taylor, and that's long songs. In a day and age of like these 2-minute 15 records, whatever, your songs are 3.5, over 4, almost 4.5.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a lost art?
Absolutely, I think so. I will say, like, you know, a lot of that back in the day was like due to like just a guitar like shredding for like 30 seconds straight, which is sick. I still appreciate that, but I definitely like my lyrics are responsible for the lengthy duration of my songs. Yeah, I'm just such a lyricist, like at heart through and through. I feel like that's when I listen to a song, the first thing I look for are lyrics. And so, yeah, another way Taylor has inspired me. It's just I love lyricism. But I think that is based like rooted in my love for language. Like I love languages and just sort of like the nuances of language, and yeah, so I love lyrics.
I actually one of your songs I noticed has a like a really long outro every summertime.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that also adds on like what I was saying to the length of the song, right?
Yes,
Totally. Yeah.
it's
Yeah. That was fun. That was like a last minute creative decision that we did with this guy named Johan Lennox, who did the strings, who's a buddy of my boyfriend slash producer on Every Summertime. And yeah, he kind of was just like, yo, are you guys gonna like let me rip like a cello solo at the very end? And we're like, yeah, dude, do your thing. And at first we were gonna cut it because it was just him kind of like goofing off, and then we ended up like falling in love with it, so we just kept it for the record.
that's the record that we ended up supporting too. I mean, that's technically your quote unquote breakout hit, at least on
No,
this side of things.
definitely.
So I guess it kind of goes to show that you should never discount any idea in the studio.
Yeah, absolutely, that's the moral of the story.
Yeah. And your very first solo headlining tour sold out within hours. So did you ever imagine that would happen?
No, not at all. I'm a very low like expectation person. Like I just always am tempering my expectations every day. Maybe I'm just cynical. But no, I was, yeah, just not expecting this kind of reception, and it was just really awesome and heartwarming and very, very exciting and emotional. Yeah.
So how are you preparing for tour?
Great question. I honestly like a music teacher like in school once said like, if you guys ever want to increase your stamina like with singing, you should run and sing at the same time. And I remember just like, I don't know, like I think that must have just been stored somewhere like in a crevice in my mind somewhere, and I just was like, I'm going to try that. So I've been like running around my block and like singing like a crazy person. So we'll see. If that
Wow.
What
Yeah.
about touring gets you the most excited, Niki? And also at the same time, what about touring gets you the most nervous?
Great question. Yeah, I think the goal from the get go is always to tour. So I'm so excited to just be locked in a bus with like 12 other people. No, I'm that I would say I'm nervous about that.
That's the tricky part right there. Be careful about that part.
Yeah. That's definitely the tricky part. But I'm just so excited to see the fans and to. There's no. I mean, you can't really explain what happens and what goes down in a room where it's like you're at your favorite concert and it's like everyone singing the words at the same time. Like there's no feeling like that, I would say. And yeah, so very excited about that.
And what about the nerves?
I'm nervous about the bus. I'm nervous about sharing a bathroom with like that many people. And no, but I'm. What else am I nervous about? You know, one issue that I ran into on my last tour with 80 Rising bus tour was that I had a very poor organization system for my clothes and my outfits. And I noticed like every time we got to a new city, I'd have to haul my entire suitcase out from underneath the bus. I'd have to open it and like rifle through like, okay, which outfit for this night? So I need a better outfit system for sure. Maybe I'll bring one of those like fancy racks, like a clothing rack, you know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
set it up every time. But even that feels crazy. So we'll figure it out. Maybe it'll be like a one outfit kind of tour.
I mean, it'll simplify a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll talk to my stylist.
What are your personal favorite Niki songs? Like a favorite of your own songs?
Still La La Lost You is one that resonates with me a lot. And I really like Split. I think I like the sort of the message of that. And yeah, I would say those two, La La Lost You and Split.
Well, you've got a lot to look forward to with the tour coming up, obviously with the album coming up as well. We know this is only the beginning for you. I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also at Head in the Clouds.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
So
am.
a million things to look forward to. Final question for you here. In the middle of all this success and all this planning, have you managed to have any fun? And if so, what has that been like?
Of course. You know what's awesome is like, and I don't think I could sincerely say this for every other project that I've done, but this record specifically, like Nicole, has been the most fun I've had in my career. Like it really doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm just having a ball. And I can't say the same for like every other record. Like not to say that those were horrible experiences, but you know, there were a lot of ups and downs. But this record has just been mostly up. So knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't change. But yeah, no, it's been great. And and in the meantime, like also in between, I have been gardening a lot. My zinnias bloomed this month, so that was very exciting. And I have a single bell pepper that's emerging, and I'm very, very stoked about that as well.
That's great. Yeah, I've been trying to squeeze out some jalapenos out of this plant, and peppers are tough. Like people say they're easy, but they're not.
I was gonna say at least somebody has their plants blooming because mine just seem to always die.
Well, thank you again, Niki, for jumping on the Zoom with us. Thank you for sharing your story, your music, your energy. And I know that this is going to be the year 2022, 2023 that, I mean, you're killing it right now. You're a rising star. So we're glad to be here at the start.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.